Hello, ladies and gentlemen and others. Welcome back to Pop Goes the Brandon. I am the Brandon, and these are my pops. They are everywhere. I'm looking every wall, every single nook and cranny. I don't even know what a nook or a cranny is, but if I have them, there's pops in them. And as you can tell by my t-shirt, today we are going back to the 1990s. We are going to do one of those top lists, those where I take a certain number of pops and I put them in order due to my favorites. Now I have hundreds of pops that are probably representing the 90s very well, but this is me show. This is me. This is what spoke to me in the 90s and what still speaks to me today. So I'm really excited to share these with you. Now, I'm going to start off a little weird. I think we'll do a top 12? How about 12? How about that? Yeah, let's do a top 12. Why not? And we're going to start off a little cartoonish, a little cartoony. Now, I have not watched an episode of this in years, but I still like the show. But in the 90s, when it was new and fresh, and it was just really, really fun. It was kind of like a continuation of like Ren and Stimpy a little bit. And I absolutely loved SpongeBob. And I absolutely love Squidward, probably more than anybody else on the show. SpongeBob. And hey, SpongeBob. Hey, I can do all their voices. I can't do him. Hey, Patrick. No. I do some pretty good voices, but then I do some pretty bad voices as well. But I loved SpongeBob back in the 90s. It was such a fun show. And, you know, maybe I'll binge watch, put it on in the background instead of, you know, Rick and Morty for once. Love me some SpongeBob. Love me some Squidward. Number 11. Another cartoon from the 90s. And I've never put this one on any list before because it's weird, man. I mean, where do they go to the bathroom? Do they eat the same things? I mean, what if they have a date? It's Cat Dog. Little Cat Dog. It's just, it's a weird... Is there like a little butthole between them or something? Maybe they poop and pee out of that. I don't know. It's really weird to me. It's a really weird concept, but I absolutely love the cartoon back in the 90s. And you got to think, I was born in 1973, so when 1990 hit, I was 17 years old. Still an impressionable age. Still a time where I'm soaking in everything and bright colors and proper marketing and a little bit of lewd, blue humor was always very, very attractive to me. None of that took place in here, but it's really a messed up movie. Number 10, Forrest Gump. I love this little play set. Usually I would throw this away and just take the pop out and keep it. It's a Target exclusive deal, but it comes with a ping pong paddle. It's a two-sided ping pong paddle. What does that even say? I played so much ping pong, I even played in my sleep. I played so much ping pong, I even played in my sleep. And it's just a really cool set, man. It's a really cool set. Glad to have it. And I must have watched Forrest Gump in the 90s when it came out. I think it came out in like 94 or 5. Could be wrong. I must have watched it 100 times, seen it in the theater. It's just one of those things. It was like, it's a time capsule movie. You put that in a time capsule and it represents that decade. All right, my music taste in the 90s. I remember I joined the Army and I had a tape player, like a Walkman, and I snuck that in so I could listen to music at night and not have to listen to everybody snoring in basic training. Marilyn Manson was one of them. I forgot what album it was. I think it was the Antichrist Superstar album. And yeah, they got Marilyn Manson pops. There's the man right there. And I still like Marilyn Manson. I do. He's a showman. He's a, you know, shock rocker, whatever they want to call him. But super artistic. He's kind of like a evil version of, and modern version of David Bowie at the time. And I love David Bowie, so it kind of makes sense that I love Marilyn Manson. And I like people that defecate on authority. But yeah, I think I had Marilyn Manson, and I had Cake. I know that's a little bit of a cross mix there. And I had Korn, and I had this guy, Weezer. Rivers, not River Phoenix. He died outside the Viper Room back in the 80s. Rivers Cuomo, son of Perry Cuomo, has a band called Weezer. They've been around for decades now. I had the Blue album and I had the Pinkerton album. Also, when I was going through basic training, I had like this little hidden thing of tapes and little headphones, and I had to have music, otherwise I'd go crazy in that place, listening to people snore at night and moving around. I'm a very light sleeper, so yeah, even though I was exhausted at the end of every day in basic training, I still had trouble sleeping. Thankfully, put little things in my ears, and I was just dandy. I actually hid it in my pillowcase. They never found it. How about that? One of my favorite movies from the 90s, I think it was 96 or 7, Dodgeball. I've never had this on any list as well. I don't have White Goodman yet, the Ben Stiller character. I need it, and I don't know if there's a chase or a exclusive or anything that's not on the box. I'm gonna have to look that up. But I love me some Dodgeball. I love the Vince Vaughn, Peter LaFleur character. And yeah, these little things. Every time you watch a movie that you love, or listen to a song that you love, or a TV show, or just interact with another human, it's all influence. It all just, you absorb it into your DNA, and that's what movies like that and a lot of the other stuff, especially the stuff in the top 6 here, have done to me. I've absorbed all of these things, and my brain has been altered, and like I said, it's in your DNA now, it's in your bloodstream. So accept it, love it, and continue to honor it. And that's what Funko Pop does, and that's what Funko does in general. They honor and they pay tribute to all of these great actors and characters, and I love it. In the 90s, just like in the 80s and for a lot of the 70s, I was a professional wrestling fan. In the 2000s, actually the year 2000 is when I actually stepped into the ring and became a professional wrestler and wrestled for a long time, almost 2 decades. This guy was always up there, and this kind of represents just wrestling in general. A lot of these next ones are just kind of representing that line of pops. But yeah, all of the 90s wrestlers, and I think this is the character The Undertaker used a lot of times. And this one's actually worth a couple bucks here, so I gotta be careful. No, wait, the other one's worth a lot, like 70 bucks. This one's worth like probably 20. Still be careful. But yeah, all of wrestling is represented by that one, all of WWE, whatever you want to call it. Another movie, and you know what? This is going to represent everything that this gentleman did in the 90s, because holy crap, whether you're talking about this movie or Billy Madison or Waterboy or Little Nicky, or just, I'm not sure if that was a 90s movie, but all the Adam Sandler stuff in the 90s. This is from Happy Gilmore. It's his fist fight with Bob Barker, which is just great. And I have all of the Happy Gilmore ones now. I'm very, very, very proud to say. But man, Adam Sandler in the 90s, even in the Saturday Night Live stuff, fine, whatever. But the audio cassettes that he had, cassettes, DVDs, whatever, I still listen to them. You know, you got the Talking Goat, and you've got, there's so many I could list, and I just listened to those albums nonstop. I watched his movies nonstop. If they're on now, guess what? I watch them. Even the new stuff that he's doing on Netflix, great! It's all just really, really good. I love Adam Sandler. I have to put him in the top 3 of my favorite actors, right next to Simon Pegg and John Cusack. How about that, Adam? That's pretty good company for you, isn't it? But yeah, that pop and number 5 represents everything the man did, and with his production company in the 90s. Here's another movie that was just everywhere. It's a cult classic, if there ever was a cult classic. I can't think of too many cult classics that came after this. This may have been, in my opinion, the last great cult classic. Office Space. I have the entire line, very happy to say. That's them beating the crap out of the Michael Bolton and Samir beating the crap out of the printer. PC Load Letter, and then they had that song that doom doom man, what was it? Back up in your ass with the resurrection. There's a bunch of cussing and stuff, and I'm not a rap fan, but it was the perfect song for them beating the crap out of this printer. And I actually made, if you look up Marcy Cat Gangsta, that's my cat, and I did that video like 12 years ago, and I put that song over it as she's beating the crap out of a pit bull. Go check it out. It's here on YouTube somewhere. Just type in Marcy with an I, Cat, Gangsta video, whatever. I'm not even sure what it's called. Another movie that absolutely, number 3, another movie that absolutely influenced me, and to this day, I still quote it. I still make the voices. Napoleon Dynamite. I'm using Pedro here to represent the entire line. I have the entire line. Can you get more 90s than this? I love this movie so much. I really do. I honestly do. I don't know why it's not number 1. I do know why it's not number 1, but as far as movies goes, it is number 1. It's so good. It's a sledgehammer. Oh, I love this movie. Funny story, on the way back from filming at the Goonies locations up in Astoria, Oregon, which I have no Goonies Funko Pops. They're out there. I have none of them. I want them. Give them to me. But we were filming out there for a show called Sparkle Nation with Ruby Sparkle, Leah, and just all the locations for Goonies. On the way back, we dropped off Leah at the airport, and then we headed back down to Eugene, Oregon, where we Radar Toys. We bought a bunch of pops there, and then we went, it just happened to be on the way, we stopped at, I can't remember the name of the city now, it's going to drive me crazy. The city where Napoleon Dynamite was filmed. That's where I bought this shirt and other shirts and a bunch of souvenirs, and we took 1,000 pictures and all that stuff. Really cool to see the bike rack is still there where he had this bike. It's a small town, and when you pull up to the house where Napoleon Dynamite lived, there's a sign up there that says, yes, this is the Napoleon Dynamite house, please take pictures. It's so cool. The school's there, just all the little things, the Poppin' Pins bowling alley, the dojo where he was learning to, the Rex Kwon Do dojo is still there, the Pedro's house is still there, Summer's house is still there. There's people living in them, so you can't just go up and knock on the door and look around by any means. But it's a real town, and I completely forgot the name of the city. I'm not going to dig into it and research and waste all of our time, but really a fun place. We didn't do a shoot there or nothing. We just took a bunch of pictures and hung out, and it's nice to do that once in a while. Okay, number 2, it's the first Funko Pop I ever bought. I bought it online on Amazon, and not the first one I ever bought. I'm sorry, the first one I ever bought online. And it's I think the 4th Funko Pop that's ever entered this home. Oh, Rocco. Hello, Hef. It's Rocco, the original Rocco Modern Life with Spunky. I love this cartoon. I love a couple years ago they made a movie on Netflix. Netflix does everything. Of course they do. They make about, I don't know, $6 billion a month. Why do you think I'm in the streaming television industry, huh? Why do you think? Because there's a possibility that I could just get a small sliver of that market, and then I'm rich, and then I'll buy all the Funko Pops, even the Marvel and the DC and all the Disney ones that I don't even want. I'll buy them all, and I'll have them, and I'll have a warehouse just to display them. I might even just buy Funko Pop if I'm making billions of dollars a month. Then I won't have to worry about it. I'll own all of the Funko Pops, even the ones in your collection. Mine. They'll all be mine. I will put out a notice that, you know how they always say they're going to come for your guns? And they never do, but they're going to come for your guns. I'm coming for your Funko Pops. It's going to be a national mandate. If I'm making $5 billion a month, you don't think I'm coming for your Funko Pops? I want them all. Even ones I already have. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to take your guns first, and then you won't be secured. Then I'll get the Funko Pops. I don't know what I'm talking about because I have one more left, and it's not... These are representing the entire lines. I just grabbed one that I haven't showcased. There's a little smudge on there on the show before. Oh, by the way, Funko Pop dealers, quit putting those price stickers on the freaking boxes. Okay, don't make me call you stupid. I've told many of you, please stop doing that. But you want to continue to be stupid. Quit doing it. Look what it does. Look what it does. I know I just gave away the number 1. Anyway, okay, let me get back to it. The number 1 is South Park. I'm talking about the entire line, all of them. I love Butters. Oh my. And he's representing all of them. But look at the stickers, dude. Look at all that smudge. I have to get like an alcohol-based rub and go through all of these boxes that I bought that you had, you know, the little guns that you stick? Those things have goo on the bottom of them. Yes, they stick very well. But we don't want those on our boxes, man. Come on! Anyways, South Park, represented here by Butters, is it started in the 90s. I'll never forget. I was sitting in a hotel room in Oklahoma City. I was in the Army at the time with my friend Ronnie. And I haven't talked to Ronnie in decades, but we're sitting there and we turn on the TV. We're getting ready to go out. We ended up not going out. We went out to get some food later after the show was over, but they had like a little marathon of like that first season of South Park, whenever that was. And we were watching the Pink Eye episode. Is the first one I ever saw. And I don't even think Butters was on the show at that point, but we sat there. There's been times, you can remember it yourself probably. There's times in your life where you're just laughing so hard that you never forget it. That was one of them. I'm sitting there in a whatever hotel chain room it was with one of my Army buddies, and we're just sitting there. We're supposed to go out, you know, looking for girls and all that stuff. I was 23 years old. That's what you do. All these years later, yes, they've gotten a little more cause-oriented and political at times, and you know, PSA type. I do that sometimes as well, but it's still, to this point, I'm laughing my ass off, and I'll never ever miss an episode until either they stop doing South Park or I die. So anyways, I hope you had a good time walking around the 90s with me. This is the stuff that influenced me the most, and made me, it's part of my DNA. Like I said, this is the stuff from the 90s that really creeped into my soul and still there today. And there's a lot more stuff. There's a lot more pops I don't have that could be easily represented. So probably, you know, in a year or two, redo this whole damn thing, man. I never know what the hell I'm going to do. If you put too many rules on the stuff that you do, then you end up screwing it up. If you have no rules on the stuff that you do, you can't screw it up. Take it day by day, man. Have a nice little outline. Have an idea of what you're going to do. But in the end, I lost my train of thought. I looked at Butters, and then I was going to say something different. Oh, here's something else. These kind of stickers. They're mainly a Hot Topic thing. Or GameStop thing, I'm sorry. GameStop puts stickers over the barcodes. So when you go to the store and you want to scan them to see if you have them, shit, you can't. And you can't rip the sticker off in the store because that's called popping tags, and they will call the GameStop police on you. That is what you need. Okay, game owners, we're going to forget the 90s for a second. That was fun. Yay. South Park wins. Hooray. I missed. Guys, with gaming stores. And someday, I've been in talks already about opening up my own gaming, not a gaming store, Funko Pop store. I want to put my collection behind a big, thick plate of see-through plexiglass so nobody can touch it, and it's perfectly preserved back there. And I'll be like, this is what $20,000 worth of Funko Pops looks like. Excuse me. And then we'll sell Funko Pops, like in the store, you know? Maybe even put a TV studio in the back. I don't know. Maybe we'll be shooting these from that Funko Pop store pretty soon. I have no idea. Probably not pretty soon, but who knows what's going to happen in the next few years. But when I do open that store, I will not put those stickers, the gun stickers, on the freaking front of the Funko Pops. That's stupid. Quit it. And I will not accept any Pops that have any stickers that don't belong on there. That is just it. Stop doing that, GameStop. Stop doing that, local guys. My buddy Mike Pagano, he puts these nice little stickers that you can just peel right off. They're barely even on there. You know what? And they stick long enough to see what the price is. You know, I probably won't even put any prices on them because they change so often. I'll put a sign at the door. Big sign. I'll make it look all nice. Little Funko up here. Little name of my Funko Pop store right here. And in the middle there'll be a QR code where you can get the Funko Pop app. And whatever that price is on the Funko Pop app is how much I'm going to charge you at the cash register with an extra $2. Why? Because I got to cover my own damn expenses, people. Think about it. And if you want to trade them in, it's going to be half of whatever that is. Simple. I think that's pretty fair, man. I don't know how we got off on this tangent. It should have been its own video. I think it was meant to be its own video, but I crossed it off the list because I didn't think you wanted to sit here and listen to me talk about opening up a Funko Pop shop, but maybe you do. Anyways, I love the 90s. I really do. I joined the Army in 95. So those first 5 years of the 90s were just pure chaos, man. From that age 17 to 23 or whatever it was, or 22 when I joined the Army. Just pure chaos. It was nuts. And I do miss it. I miss my friends from that days back in Detroit. My friend Mike Barrett. We did so much. And I was in bands and singing in front of big crowds and hanging out at the club circuits, and don't even let me get started on the women. Oh my goodness. Great life, great time, great decade. Thank you for joining me. Wish me luck on my pop shop. Subscribe, like, notification bell. You know the deal already. La 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 la. See you next time.
What happens when the executive producer for Asai TV starts collecting Funko Pops? Well, of course, you end up with a TV show about it. My name is Brandon Bishop. I'm in my mid-40s and I collect small plastic vinyl figures. I don't know how this started, but I do know that it's totally out of control. Join me as I travel the nation hunting for Pops on One Nation Under Pop. Asai TV is available on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and at AsaiTV.com. Use promo code POPS to support this show when subscribing.